Hi, good afternoon. Hi, how are you today? This is Henry from Sligo, Psychic Henry, and you're very welcome this afternoon to this chat about the subject of the talk is, can anybody become a medium? Could anybody become a medium? Yesterday we talked about what a medium was, or what a medium should be doing, and today we're talking about can you become a medium? Can anybody become a medium? What's involved? How do you go about it, and so on. Very significant day today, 21/3/21. So it's one of those days that you can go forwards or backwards. So which way are you going to go? Are you going to go forward or backwards? Hopefully we're all going forward with all this COVID-19 challenges across the world. That hopefully this is another stage out of that particular pandemic. It's also spring equinox, which is a beautiful sunny day here in Sligo. It's a really fabulously warm day. A nice clear blue sky. Well, actually, I've just seen one cloud out there, but it's all good. Life is good. So, for those who don't know me, I'm a psychic medium. I've been working as a psychic medium for many years now. And I thoroughly enjoy doing that type of work. So people say, well, can I do this, or how can I do this, or how did I get into doing this type of work? Essentially, I think we are all from spirit. So if we come from the spirit world and we return to the spirit world, then it's possible for us to connect back to the spirit world. Although we live in a human existence, an earth existence, and believe that since we all ascended from spirit, it must be that we should all be able to connect with the spirit world back in our previous lives or in our previous journeys through each generation as we've gone on. Now, so essentially, I believe that this is an opportunity for everybody can do this. Everybody has intuition. So we all know, I feel intuitive that this is going to happen, or I'm going to have God forbid the worst, I'm going to have my car is going to get scratched, or I'm going to have a flat tire, or I'm not going to get there on time. The intuition is there within our human body. Then you got some people get a knowing. So I knew that was going to happen, or I knew that they'd had an argument. When you go and visit friends, or you go into a house and you can feel the energy around, and you can feel the sense of tension. Nobody said anything, but you just know. It's a knowing. I felt that was going to happen. We've all had this in our lives at some stage or another. Another sign is deja vu. Deja vu. Deja vu. I've been in this place before, but I don't know how or when. I can't explain what it was I was doing here. But I've a sense of I've been here before, and I know about this place. I'm aware of it. So these are all signs of an intuitive state of being, and of course dreams. We all dream. We all have these dreams, and sometimes we can understand them, unfold them. Sometimes they just don't make any sense to us whatsoever. But it's always good if you're sleeping and you wake up with a dream, just to have a little piece of paper and a pencil or pen next to you, just to write down. I was jumping off the end of a cliff and I grew wings or something like that, because they can all relate back to, or I was dreaming of colours. This is another sign that you're becoming aware of your spirit guides. They'll introduce you as you're tipping off to sleep. You'll start seeing colours, or you'll start seeing faces, or you'll start seeing pictures. Now you're not actually asleep, but you're in that you're in that altered state of consciousness, what I was talking about yesterday. Whereas when we're awake and we're working with 21 beats per second, you're then coming down to sort of anywhere between 7 and 4 beats per second. So this altered state of consciousness is when you're just about to drift off, just about to doze off to sleep. And it's often that you will see colours, or people sometimes see colours. Hi Sarah, hi Maya, hello Angela, hello Anne Byrne. These are states of mind which are going to show you that the universe is trying to guide you or steer you or help you. They're going to come into your life. I like to think it's a gift, or it's more of a way of life that is a gift to you to work with, all right, or work with them. And by choosing to work with the altered state of your mind, you can communicate, or start to communicate, or start to interact, shall I say, with the spirit world. But it's this, when you're slowing down, it's when we're not running around chasing our tails, rushing to work, rushing to get the kids to school, rushing to get the kids home, rushing to get the dinner. It's really, really it's really nice when you get that altered state, and that you're able to settle and slow your mind down. Hiya Dave Vinny there from Wales. How are you doing? So the other thing that is good to connect with is the signs. You'll see signs. You'll be thinking about somebody. I was walking our dog this morning in Ross's Point here, and a dear friend of ours passed 3 years ago, and she was a really good friend. And I always said to her, if you're go to the spirit world, will you send us a sign? Will you come back? And the robin appeared within about 3 weeks of her passing. I saw the robin again this morning. Now I don't see robins every morning, but I'm asking the spirit world to help me and to show me and to give me the confidence, give me the information I need to portray today. And that happened to me earlier this morning while I was talking to the dog. So signs are very important, I feel, when you're trying to get that connection. Robins, rainbows, some people see butterflies, and somebody, I don't know who it was now, just said, oh, Geraldine Owens just said to me, a nice butterfly. Actually, it's if I just get out of the way, that's the stairway to heaven. And we put the butterflies on because one or two of our family, my wife's family, are in the spirit world, and my family. So I just want those to be remembered. Butterfly, of course, the significance of the butterfly is new life, reborn from a chrysalis, opens up and starts a new life as a butterfly. So all these are signs and so on. So what do we need to do? How can you go about connecting? Now, sometimes I always think it's important to try and find out why you want to connect. Why do you want to have that connection? Often it is because you've had a loss yourselves, So either child loss, God forbid, miscarriage, or a family member, but somebody dear to us, somebody that we love. It's at that stage we, generally speaking, find where have they gone, what's happened to them, what's all this about life after death, and there's an increased interest at moments like that in our lives when we want to connect with a higher vibration or a loved one or somebody. What's happened to them? Are they okay? And it's partly brought out of grief, I feel, but it's also to do with connecting with our loved ones who've gone on before us, as opposed to doing this as a job or work for everybody. That is possible if it's your life's purpose, you will do that, and you will do it if it's meant for you. Not everybody can be a working medium or a working psychic, because, to be honest with you, it requires a lot of time and a lot of dedication and a lot of effort. I know a friend of mine just says, practice, practice, practice. I'm practice. I'm trying to practice better delivery, better information, better connections all the time. And I've been doing this a number of years. So it's not a quick fix job. It's not going to make you rich. I don't know. There are one or two famous psychic mediums in England that I can think of, and across the world, but they're few and far between, really. They're not. It's not a job where you're going to make a lot of money. So if you're in it for the money, that's not the right reason. So what purpose? What are you doing it for? Is it to connect with your own personal loved ones in the spirit world? And that's fine. And people do that. I was talking to a young lady there a couple of days ago, and she is working with a friend of hers, not a boyfriend, but just a person that she knew. And this young lad passed back into the spirit world, and chose his own demise, in actual fact. But she was spending a lot of time with this person's mother, and found that she was kind of connecting with the son, and it was helping her grieve and let go of the hurt and so on. So she was helping this mother of the young man, to deal with the grief, and in doing so, she herself has become more intuitive, more aware, more knowing, and so on. And it's taken an interest. You can read books about this. This is not a new phenomenon. A lot of angel shops have appeared over the more recent times. Angel cards, people doing readings with cards, and so on and so forth. But this goes back to the late 1800s, and the early, very, very popular around 1894 in America, then went to England, and during the World Wars over in England became very, very popular to connect with people that have passed. So it's a very active way of connecting. A lot of people do it. From being a medium, there is a religion that has been formed called the spiritualist movement. Now, there's one in Dublin, and there's one in Belfast, a church in both Dublin and in Belfast, but there's quite a few in England, particularly around the London area, They're in Scotland, and they're in Wales, and they're in other parts of England as well. But there's quite a lot around London and the suburbs of London, spiritualist churches, which essentially have 7 principles, but one of them, in the main principle, is the life after death, basically, and they believe in the spiritual connection. And when you go to a service at one of these churches, you would there'd be a couple of hymns sung, but there will be a demonstration of mediumship there in any of the spiritualist churches in any given week or day that you attend. So that's the group or the organisation which really brings about the development of mediums and mediumship. So let me see now. Excuse me for one moment. Hi Henry, this is Margaret Conway. You did many reasons for me over the years in Limerick, and were able to get contact with my late husband. Your reasons were amazingly accurate, gave me great comfort. I hope that's nice. It's a nice confirmation of a reading I did for a lady there in Limerick. So it's nice to get. Hello, Sinead Maguire from Lanzarote. Gee whiz. It was warmer here than it is in Lanzarote, I'd say, today. It's a lovely day here in Sligo. But thank you, Margaret, for that comment. It's nice to get feedback. It's nice to get confirmation. And a lot of people have come back to me time and time again after connecting with their loved ones and their spirit people. So if you wanted to do it, if you're interested in connecting with your higher self, or your guides, your loved ones, you can call it many things, whatever it is that you're trying to ascend to. Keep a journal and dates and times of your experiences. It's not always easy to talk to people that don't understand. It's like, I sensed this, or I felt somebody on my shoulder, or I felt when I was going to sleep last night that somebody was beside me in the bed. You've got to know who you're going to talk to, and they've got to be open to the possibility that things happen, things exist that we, at our level, our knowing, don't really understand. If you go around telling everybody you're talking to your mother or your late grandmother or your late auntie or your whoever in the spirit world, not everybody responds openly to that type of conversation, and you could get yourself looked at by a medical professional fairly rapidly. So how do you do it? Keep a journal of your experiences. Write down everything that you're experiencing. Then it's a question of sitting in your own space. You're sitting in silence. It's the only way to lower that vibration in your mind. So what you've got to do is literally sit and quieten your mind. People call it meditation. Some people call it mindfulness. But that is essentially how you're going to get a better connection when you're able to sit and connect with your higher self. Try to get no thoughts. And that's, my wife says it's very easy for me because I don't think anyway. But she does say to me, look, it's easy for you just to shut off all your thoughts. So don't think about picking the children up or doing the shopping or doing this or doing that. It's quietening your mind with no thought. Allow time for the other thing, you've got to allow time to work with your spirit world. So it's no good trying to rush it. It's no good trying to do it out of sequence. If you can do it at the same time every day, week, whenever it is, I'm going to sit on a Friday evening between 6 and 8, and I'm going to have a chat with my higher self, my guides, my grandmother, my auntie, whatever it is. It's setting a time for when you're going to work with the spirit world. The books to read, well, there's many books to read, and written by a lot. So again, with Google, it's very, very easy. Just write about what you're trying to inquire about. You're inquiring about how to be a mediumship. I've got many books, and there's many different authors. Some are good, some are not so good. But reading books, talk to like-minded people. Now, that's not, as I say, always easy, but it is important to be taken seriously when you're experiencing things going on and what's happening around you. Now, it's not very easy to do this in Ireland, unfortunately, but we call it sitting in a circle, and mediums should do this quite a lot. And it's important to sit in a circle. Again, it's just giving time to sit with like-minded people in a group. A dear friend of mine, John, has a group going, John King, down there in Tulsk, or he was in Tulsk, he's now in Castlereagh. He has a group, a circle, that meet every Wednesday, or every other Wednesday, I think it is. And it's like-minded people coming together to connect with their spirit world. So that's, if you're going to form, unfortunately we can't. It would be nice to have a circle in Galway, and a circle in Limerick, and a circle in Dublin, and a circle in Cork. Obviously the Spiritualist Church of Ireland in Dublin does have a circle, but that's a way of developing your connection and your mediumship skills. This takes a long time. This is not something you should learn in 6 months. And I've been doing it years, and I'm still learning. So some you're going to get it right, some you're not going to get it right. But providing you've come at it from the right reason and you're doing it for the right purpose, that will be all encompassing for you. And that will give you great satisfaction. But you also ought to be aware, there is a college in England called Arthur Finley's College. This is a building that was given over by a very good medium back in about the early 1900s. In England, and he devoted this building near Stansted, Arthur Finley, his name was, and he gave the building over for the development of mediumship and healing and so on. But if you Google Arthur Finley's College, it's a college devoted for the development of mediumship and healing skills and psychic and trance and everything. It's a really good place. I wouldn't recommend you go there unless you've had a little bit of experience, but it is. And there are other places. Hello, Lydia from Dublin. Thank you. So that's really what you can do with how you can develop your gifts or your intuition or whatever it is that you feel you've got. There are a few things that are important if you're going to work with the spirit world. I've had a case recently actually where poor chap couldn't sleep. He wasn't Oh, sorry. Karen. A lady called Catherine has just come on and said, "I'd love to do a course in art of Finland's on my to-do list." Well, that's great, Catherine. You'll know when the time is right. Again, this is a good example. This is a lady that's obviously aware of her intuitive and what she's developed into, or what's developing around her, and what her purpose is to be. So Arthur Finley's college there in Stansted, when COVID is out of the way and we can get back to some sort of normality in life, she's going to obviously be going there. But it's well worth. There's a whole list of different courses and residential courses, as well as day courses, and in all different aspects of spiritualism and mediumship and psychic and so on. So it's a really good place, and they've got some really terrific tutors there. So so that's great. That's okay. She's telling me there that I did a reading for her in 2019. So just to a few rules and guidance, if you like, if you're sitting in this energy, this space. I've told you already that you need to sit quietly. Try to imagine yourself in your ideal place of relaxation. It helps calm your body. It helps calm your mind. For me, there's a bench out here at Ross's Point, and whenever I want to go to the space of connection with the spirit world, I'm imagining myself sitting on the bench, and I imagine my guides and my spirits coming along and sitting on that bench with me. But it's such a peaceful spot. Even when it's windy, even when it's raining, it's still a beautiful space. There's plenty of air around me. I'm completely relaxed when I visualize myself on this particular bench. And that's when I can get the connection very quickly. So you need your ideal place of relaxation. Now, it can be a chair in your living room. It can be laying flat on the bed. It can be sitting on a stool in the kitchen. Wherever you are relaxed and at peace and slowing your mind down, being calm. So you need to set a time for it. I've already said earlier, don't be doing it on Tuesday, and I'll do it again in about 10 days time on a Thursday. Try if you can to set a time, where this is my time with spirit. I'm going to do it Tuesday afternoon between 3 and 3:30 or 3 and 5. It doesn't have to be a long period of time, but it can be a time when you are actually working with them. Communicate with them. So what you do is you asking the questions and asking for the guidance. It's important to do an opening prayer, I think, and a closing prayer. By that, you're almost setting it's like looking at a menu. You start with your starter, your hors d'oeuvres, and then you go on to your main course, and then you do your dessert. But what you're doing is you're opening the prayer. So the prayer can be, Our Father who art in heaven. It can be whatever words you put to the prayer, but it will be you opening up your connections, like dialing the number and saying, I'm ready now to talk with the spirit world. My opening prayer is done. I'm open to receiving. And then when you finish the work, whether it's a reading or whether it's for yourself, for your own purposes, you're closing off and you're saying, that's it, job's done. Thanks very much indeed. You do your closing prayer as well. And again, each person will do it differently. Everybody will do it how they're going to do it. There's no rules here. There's no you do it your way, and your way will be okay. The other thing is to make sure you protect yourself. Protection is very important, to protect yourself against people that are not as keen as you are. Excuse me one moment. If you are ready. for an offer. I'll get back to you. I'm going to have to get back to some of these messages that are popping up here. So the opening prayer and the closing, protection and grounding. A lot of people I know and I've spoken to over the years have got into a very, very high vibration. So they're walking around almost in a daze. All they can think about is their loved ones. All they can think about is that these people are talking to me and I'm talking to them, and almost sort of floating through the earth life and not really being grounded. So it's important to keep one's feet on the ground, and to keep one's stability on the earth, because you've got to live an existing earth life, and you can't be in the vibration of the spiritual world all the time. It's exhausting. It will take your energy, it will take your time, and it's difficult to get on. It's difficult to get on this situation. It's difficult to get on with life if you're in this vibration all the time. Thanks, Maya. I got your message. Yeah, I was thinking a little bit about that. I was thinking a little bit like that myself, Maya. But I'm going to know, Maya, don't worry. I'm going to know how to respond to the people that are making the comments, because I'm going to ask who I should be responding to, who I shouldn't be. So it is important to look at the protection of your energy and your aura and everything else, and also to keep your feet on the ground. And the other thing I would say to you, please, 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 always know you are in control. Nobody's going to control you. Nobody's going to tell you to do things that you shouldn't do, or talk to you at all hours of the night and early hours of the morning. You are in control. You are in control of spirit world. You can ask them, please, it's 2:20 in the morning. I'd rather you went away. Come back. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you coming and sitting on the end of the bed and waking me up and trying to communicate with me. But I really would prefer to do this when I'm sitting with you, and come through to me at 5:00 tomorrow afternoon when I'm awake, and when I normally sit and talk to my guides, spirits, and receive messages for other people. So you are always in control. It's not a question of them controlling you. It's very, very dangerous if you get to a stage where you're not grounded and that happens, and you allow that to happen. There's a very thin line between sanity and insanity, and your mind can dip not very easily, but it can dip into a really dangerous area if you allow it to. So it's important to protect yourself. It's important to keep your grounding, and I think if you have a calling for this work, it's really enjoyable. For me, it's really enjoyable. You've got to enjoy doing it, and I enjoy doing it. So that's why I did a deal with God a long time ago when I had a health challenge. Well, I didn't. My wife had a very serious health challenge, and I said, well, if you keep her alive, then I'll work for you. So I'm not a priest. I'm not, I believe I'm a Christian, but I'm a spiritualist person, and that's the way I live my life now. So, now then, I've been to Henry. Oh, the compliments are flowing well here today. Anyway, so I'm going to get all you to come up on my page and tell people how wonderful it's been. But that's about how you can work with your intuition, your knowing, your guides, your spiritual helpers, and so on. And it really, it's really enjoyable. I don't let it, I try not to let it control my life, but it is helpful to get the help from the spirit world, and they're there to help us. They can't interfere with your life. They won't get involved in your life unless you invite them to do so. Once you've asked them for things, this is where the secret and the law of attraction comes in. Ask, believe, and then you receive. So it's as simple as that for me. So now, I think that's me about finished. Thanks for listening, and have a great spring equinox, and please God, we'll be out of this scenario of this COVID, and we can get back to some normality. It will change our lives. This pandemic will make us all a little bit slower and change out the way we do our lives and the way we work our lives. But it's not a bad thing. It's got to be a good thing. So, thank you very much for all the comments. I'll go back afterwards and pick them up, and I'll respond to each and every one of them if I can. But thanks again for listening. I'm going to sign off now. I've got a reading with somebody at about 3 o'clock in about 10 minutes. So bless you all, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. Thanks. Bye.